Months of nothing. No call, no text, total silence. You cried. You questioned everything. You slowly, painfully, started to rebuild. You started sleeping again. You started laughing again. Really laughing. Not the performance of it. You started to feel, for the first time in a long time, okay. And then your phone buzzed. Their name. Hey, I've been thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. And in 1 second, everything you rebuilt felt like it was standing on sand. I need you to know something before you respond. This moment was not random. This moment had a name before it ever happened to you. It's called hoovering. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what it is, why it happened right now, and exactly what to do. The term hoovering comes from the vacuum cleaner brand, because that is precisely what its card is designed to do. Suck you back in. In psychology, hoovering refers to an attempt, usually after a period of no contact, to re-establish connection with someone who has emotionally or physically distanced themselves, typically from a person with narcissistic or manipulative relational patterns. It is not a coincidence. It is not fate. It is not the universe telling you something. It is a behavioral pattern, documented extensively in research on narcissistic abuse cycles and attachment-based manipulation. And here's the part that matters most. Hoovering attempts are disproportionately likely to occur during periods when the other person senses, consciously or unconsciously, that you are doing better without them, not when they miss you most, when they sense you need them least. This is the question that haunts people the most. Why did they come back now, after all this time? Here is the uncomfortable truth. People who rely on hoovering as a pattern often have an unconscious, sometimes conscious, radar for shifts in the emotional ecosystem of people they once controlled. This can manifest in several ways. Social media activity, a photo of you looking happy, a new post, a new connection. Even passive visibility can trigger a hoovering response, because it signals that the Chinyo narrative of "they can't live without me" is breaking. Mutual connections. Someone mentions you're doing well. Someone mentions you've moved on. This information travels, even indirectly, and it registers as a threat to the dynamic that once existed. Internal narrative maintenance. For some people, your suffering after the relationship was part of how they processed their own role in it. If you're suffering, they remain significant. If you're thriving, your healing implicitly tells a story that does not center them. And for some people, that story is intolerable. So they reach out, not because they've changed, not because they've done the work, but because the system that gave them significance is showing signs of closing without them. Let's decode the language. Because hoovering rarely sounds dramatic. It sounds casual, warm, even thoughtful. Message 1. I've been thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. What it sounds like. A kind, no-pressure check-in. What it actually does, reopens a closed channel without taking any accountability for why it was closed. It requires nothing from them and creates an obligation to respond from you. Message 2. I owe you an apology. I've been doing a lot of reflecting. What it sounds like. Growth. Accountability. The thing you always wanted to hear. What it actually is. Often the most effective hoover of all, because it offers exactly what you were starved for during the relationship. The question is not whether the words sound right. The question is, has there been sustained, demonstrated change over time, witnessed by people other than you, or is this the first contact in months, arriving suspiciously close to your healing? Message 3. I just saw something, and it reminded me of you/us. What it sounds like. Nostalgia. A shared memory. What it actually does, it reactivates the emotional archive of the relationship, the good memories, specifically, without any of the painful context. It's designed to make you remember the feeling, not the full picture. Message 4. Can we just talk? I think we both deserve closure. What it sounds like. Maturity. Resolution. the conversation you may have wanted for months. What it actually often is, a reopening of access under the framing of resolution, which, once granted, rarely produces the closure promised, and instead produces renewed contact, renewed hope, and renewed cycle. None of these messages prove someone is hoovering, but the timing, combined with the absence of demonstrated, sustained change, tells you almost everything you need to know. Here is what nobody warns you about. You don't have to get back together for a hoover to be successful. You don't even have to respond with warmth. The moment you respond at all, something shifts. Because your nervous system has spent months building a new baseline. A baseline where this person doesn't have access to you, where their presence is not part of your daily emotional landscape. The moment contact reopens, even one message, that baseline is disrupted. You may tell yourself, "I'm just being polite. I'm not getting back into anything." But your body doesn't process polite. Your body processes presence. And the moment this person's presence re-enters your awareness, even briefly, the old patterns that took months to quiet down begin to stir again. The anxiety, the hypervigilance, the hope, the wondering, the analyzing, the waiting for the next message. One reply can cost you weeks of progress. Not because you're weak, because healing is not linear, and reopening a wound, even gently, reopens it. Here is the fastest, most reliable test. Has there been any contact in the period of silence? Or is this the first message after an extended gap? And does the message arrive with no acknowledgement of the silence, as if no time has passed at all? Genuine reconnection, after real reflection, real change, real accountability, typically does not arrive casually. It typically acknowledges the gap. It typically acknowledges the harm. It typically does not expect an immediate, warm response. A hoover, by contrast, often arrives light, casual, low stakes, easy to respond to, designed to require minimal effort from them and maximum emotional re-engagement from you. If the message feels easy to send but hard to read, that asymmetry is the signal. This is the part that matters most. Option 1. No response. This is not rude. This is not cruelty. This is the completion of a boundary you already set when you chose no contact in the first place. You do not owe an explanation for protecting your peace. Silence, in this context, is not the absence of communication. It is the presence of a decision you already made. Option 2. One calm, final response. If closure for yourself requires it. If you genuinely need to say something, for you, not for them, keep it short, calm, and final. I hope you're doing well too. I'm not looking to reconnect. I wish you the best. No explanation. No invitation for further conversation. No emotional content for them to respond to. A closed door, stated kindly. Option 3. If you do feel pulled to respond, wait 48 hours. The urge to respond immediately is often the nervous system trying to resolve uncertainty as fast as possible. Give it time. The urgency will fade. What remains after 48 hours is your actual choice, not your panic response. The core principle. You are not responsible for managing their feelings about your healing. Their reaching out, at this exact moment, is information about where they are. It is not a referendum on where you should be. You get to keep what you built. They didn't come back because they missed who you were. They came back because they noticed you were becoming someone who didn't need them. And that, for some people, is unbearable. But here is what they don't understand. The version of you that they've woodlit is not the version of you that existed when they left. That version stayed in the silence. This version, the one who is reading this right now, who recognized the pattern, who understood the timing, who knows exactly what this is. This version doesn't what? Explaining what it's doing. This version already knows, and knowing is enough. Let them knock. You don't have to open the door to prove you've moved past it. The fact that you can hear the knock and feel calm, that's the proof. If you just got the text, you are not alone. Subscribe for more. Comment below Has someone hoovered back into your life right when you started healing? Share this with someone who needs to see it right now. Copyright Motivation Thrones. Do not republish without permission.